Guess this car by the color alone. This isn't just any color, by the way. I specifically pick the exact color. Now, it's not going to look quite the same because there's no
Ferrari
metallic
458.
flake.
Yeah, I would get Ferrari 458 is pretty good. I'm going to say...
What did he say?
He said Ferrari 458.
You got it exactly right. You nailed it.
That's right, baby.
Way to go.
That's right.
Holy crap. Welcome, everyone, to the Bose Bros podcast. I'm Mason,
I'm Jordan.
I'm Logan.
and we're going to get started with our speed rounds. So first up, in our speed rounds are 20 questions. And this, because I guess Logan already saw, is for you, Jordan. So 20 questions to guess what car I'm thinking of.
You...
Just throw a guess. Just throw a guess right now.
Just one guess? Jeez, out of like anything?
Just for fun. Dude, he's gonna get it.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Okay, all right.
you
Just
start
guessing.
with one anyway, but okay, go ahead.
We'll just start with a guess of any vehicle in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess an Aston Martin Lagonda.
So close.
That tells me it wasn't close at all. Is it an American market vehicle?
No.
Okay. Is it a European market vehicle?
Yes.
Meaning that it was never sold in the U.S. Because you said it's not an American market vehicle.
It's a European manufacturer.
I don't know if it was sold.
It was sold in the
Probably
US.
was sold here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is an American.
It is an American market vehicle.
It's more European than American, but I'm sure there are some here.
Okay.
There's one with a particularly notable owner.
Okay, don't
Sorry.
tell him.
Yeah, you're always giving Mason the crap for being Weenie Hut Jr.
I can tell you need the help this time.
Is it from a German manufacturer?
No.
Is it from a French manufacturer?
No.
Is it from an English manufacturer?
Yes.
Okay. Is it from a British Leyland holding?
Not sure.
What does that mean?
From the British Leyland manufacturers, there's like a dozen of like these smaller ones that got gobbled up by British Leyland, and of those out came like a Range Rover, Jaguar.
It's none of the ones you just mentioned.
Yeah, so I guess that doesn't count against me, huh?
Yeah.
If you're not sure. All right, how many am I at? 4?
7.
Oh gosh. Okay, so is it from a supercar manufacturer?
Yes.
Okay, is it from Aston Martin?
No.
Okay, is it from McLaren?
Yes.
Okay, it has been sold in the last 5 years.
No.
Is it the F1?
Yes.
Okay, what was that? 10?
12.
Logan's sitting over there like, should have been 10. Should have been 10 questions.
Idiot.
I would have done it in 2.
I mean, oh no, Aston Martin Lagonda actually was.
That was actually pretty
It
close.
was actually not bad, yeah.
20 questions to guess what car I'm thinking of. Go.
All right, American market vehicle.
Yes.
Okay, made by an American brand.
Yes.
Is it from the big 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, is it from Ford?
No.
Is it from Chrysler Group?
Yes.
Okay, is it has it been on sale in the last 20 years?
Yes.
Is it from Dodge?
Yes.
Is it the Dodge Caliber SRT4?
No.
Okay.
Interesting guess. That is a good guess, though.
Is it 4 doors?
Yes.
Is it a sedan?
Yes.
Is it a Dodge Avenger?
No.
Is it a Dodge Dart?
Whoa. Wait. You said 4-door sedan?
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be a debate on this.
Okay.
What?
You said Avenger, and what was after that?
Dart.
Dart. No, it's neither of those.
Is it a Dodge Charger?
No.
Ooh. Wait a minute. Is it a cab forward vehicle?
What does that mean?
What's that?
From the LX platform?
The LX platform?
LX platform.
It is an LX platform vehicle.
Oh, it's a Dodge Magnum.
Yes.
Not a sedan, not a 4-door.
That
It's a
is
5-door
Okay.
estate
Station
vehicle.
It is 95% the same car as a Charger.
So is a Chrysler 300.
When you say sedan, I'm not going to say no.
I would have.
I would have said no.
Yeah, that's why I was
All right.
staring at you like, it can't be a Magnum because it's not a sedan. And then when you said it is an LX platform, I'm like, well, then it has
That's
to
the
be.
only thing left.
But
yeah.
I think before that was the LC platform, and those were the cab forward ones, the Intrepid, the Stratus.
Dodge. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
All right, fine. It's a 5-door wagon.
Estate vehicle.
Okay, is there a difference between an estate vehicle and a wagon?
No, estate is a European term.
It's for all of our viewer from Europe.
Well, then you'd say... Well, then you didn't say sedan either. You'd say saloon.
Yes.
Everyone happy now?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Everyone's done arguing.
No.
All right, I believe this next one is Jordan quizzing Logan.
Is it an American market vehicle?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is it an American manufacturer?
Yes, it is.
Is it a GM product?
It is not.
Is it a Ford product?
No.
Is it a Chrysler product?
Yes.
Is it a Dodge?
Yes.
You guys, you fanboys. Oh my god. Was it sold in the last 10 years?
No.
Was it sold in the last 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. A Dodge sold in the last 20 years. Is it a truck?
No.
Is it a car?
Yes.
As in, does it have a trunk?
No.
Okay, so it's a car, but it doesn't have a trunk.
Is that another question?
So it's a hatchback.
Mm-hmm.
That's 11.
All right, is a hatchback sold in the last 20 years? Is it an Avenger?
Nope, that's not a hatchback.
Oh, sorry. Is it a Caliber?
Yes, it is a Caliber SRT4.
Idiot. Cool car though.
I was like, there's no way he did the exact same car as me.
Yeah.
That would have been wild.
Yeah. This isn't an estate car though. This is a hot hatch, right?
So what is the distinction? The wheelbase?
The amount of room behind the rear seats.
Yeah, estate cars are like a long boy. This is like a Chihuahua. The Magnum's like a Dachshund.
An estate car it's a vehicle long enough to have a rear-facing third row, but very often does not.
Because does that make a Model S an estate car then?
I'd say
I would say yeah, because its rear door opens to the cabin and it can have a third row.
it's a 5-door. This is another one. Jordan's quizzing Logan.
Is it a European manufacturer?
Yes.
Did some of the people that worked for this manufacturer flee to South America sometime
Yes.
in the 1940s?
So you...
Yes. Did you see the picture?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, is it Mercedes-Benz?
Nope.
Is it BMW?
It's not BMW.
Is it Volkswagen?
It is Volkswagen.
Okay. Was it on sale in the last 20 years?
Yep.
On sale in the last 10 years?
Yep.
Is it a vehicle that's sold new today?
Yep.
Is it a Volkswagen ID Buzz?
It is not.
Is it a Volkswagen Atlas?
It is not.
Jetta?
Nope.
Beetle?
Ooh, no.
Is it sold in the U.S.?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm out of stuff. What is it? Tiguan? Is it a Volkswagen Tiguan?
Nope.
I don't know any other. Beetle, Jetta, Atlas, Tiguan, ID Buzz. Passat? Is it Volkswagen Passat?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I don't know any other Volkswagen vehicles.
You have 5 more questions.
I would encourage you to keep thinking.
I don't know any Volkswagens.
Yes, you do.
It's a car size.
It's a car size.
When you say car, be specific. Sedan, station wagon, hatchback. What are you
Yeah,
talking
like
about?
is it a sedan?
It's not a sedan.
Okay. Is it a hot hatch? Oh, is it a Golf GTI?
It is a Golf
Yes.
GTI, yes.
Okay.
It is the hot hatch, yeah.
Yeah, but enthusiasts don't like these cars, obviously. Nobody with any sort of car enthusiasm likes these.
I can't tell if you're just trying to like stir up controversy or
I'm
if
just
you're
being
serious.
annoying. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but there is actually a really interesting. This could be completely made up, but I think that this is true. That
Always a great one. Sorry.
during World War II, there were experiments being done to try to see how they could get people to have twins more often. The Volkswagen people were doing this.
They were forced into labor by.
No. Terms of service, okay? What they were doing, they were doctors. A lot of them, of their own accord, unrelated to these events, immigrated to South America. But what was interesting is I think in like the 1980s or 1990s, coalition, like expedition to the Amazon, found a community of people that spoke German, and they had twins and triplets, like deep in the Amazon. They had twins and triplets at like 800% the normal rate. And there's this conspiracy theory that some of these doctors fled to South America and continued their experiments on the native people. That could be a complete fabrication, but I'm pretty sure it's true.
Wow. If that is true, that's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Okay, well, I have another one for you.
I will give you 3 schmeckles if you guess this.
3 schmeckles. Yes.
I was hoping this would be for Mason, but I guess he saw it. So I'm ready. 20 questions. Go.
Is it an Asian manufacturer?
No.
Is it a European manufacturer?
Yes.
Were they very naughty between the years of 1939 and 1945? They were naughty?
We'll say they had their own issues.
Ferrari. All right.
Nope.
Is it Italian?
No.
Were they part of the Allied powers?
Some of the people in this country were really in favor of the Allies and others were not.
Is it a Russian vehicle?
No.
Is it a French vehicle?
No. Don't let that answer fool you. Just keep guessing.
Is it a British vehicle?
It is not.
It's European though, right?
It is.
Not British, not French, not German, not Italian, not Russian.
You haven't asked where it's sold.
Oh, is it sold in Europe?
Exclusively, yes.
Okay, it's exclusively sold in Europe. Is it a popular manufacturer?
Yes. It has some amount of popularity.
Is it Swedish?
It is not.
Not Swedish. Is it Spanish?
It is Spanish.
I don't even know what a Spanish manufacturer is.
Yeah? Are you going to lose out on those 3 shekels Mason was promising?
Spanish manufacturers. I think there's like one really big one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any Spanish vehicle manufacturers. Sorry.
Is that it then?
I guess that's it.
That's it.
The manufacturer is Seat. The car is Leon. And the trim is Cupra. And then the specialty version of that trim is the R.
I actually like that.
It's a pretty cool looking Golf.
Does it look better than the actual Golf? That's the question.
I think it looks better than the Mark 8, but I think the Mark 7 looks better than the Seat.
The Mark 7 looks fantastic. That's a great looking vehicle.
Cupra is their performance like sub trim, and if I'm not mistaken, they're making their own brand, Cupra,
They're wanting to bring Cupra to the U.S.
and they're going to bring it to the U.S. Yeah,
With like a crossover, right?
that's their initial one. Is like a.
They look okay, but this market's so saturated, I don't think it's going to get any traction.
Yeah.
This is Guess the Car.
From the zoomed in picture?
Let me know when you're on it.
All right, we're on it.
Okay, go ahead, Jordan.
All right, I have 9 pixels. 9 pixels to deal with.
Looks great.
Gosh, is this a 67 Chevy Impala?
No. I think the year is right, though.
67 Charger?
Nope.
Eldorado?
Eldorado, no.
Because it's a vinyl top, and it's got the chrome trim.
It's kind of pixelated. I don't think it's a vinyl top.
But you're in the right era.
Okay.
Got like 2 more guesses.
Is it a Galaxy?
No.
Is it a Thunderbird?
Nope.
All right, then I don't know.
It is a Dodge Coronet.
Oh. I mean, I was skating around that area.
I mean, Charger was pretty close.
Yeah.
Imagine how safe that is in a rollover.
If you look at the hubcaps, I'm really glad they brought that.
The Fratzog.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right, next one.
Next one, we're on it.
Go ahead.
Those silver hinges on the back glass.
Iconic. If you know, you know. This is the. When you're ready for a hint, I'll give you one.
Go for it, because I have a bunch of ideas in my head right now.
This is an iconic estate car. Like literally nothing else on the road looks like this.
Is it a Woody?
Nope.
The really rounded windows made me think of like an old Mini Cooper.
No, bigger than that. It's an estate car. It's a wagon.
And it's got the rain gutters, so it's got to be early 70s, late 60s.
It's around that era, yeah, but this manufacturer maintained the old school look for a really long time.
Is it a Volvo?
It is a Volvo.
V60?
Nope.
It would be that name but older. Volvo 240 estate?
No.
Well, okay, what is it?
It is a P1800 ES.
Yes, I've seen these. Those are super cool.
Is that all glass in the back?
All glass. If you've ever seen a C60,
Yeah, that's a throwback to this.
kind of a throwback to this, yeah. Notably, Edward Cullen drove it in the first Twilight movie.
Okay, I didn't know that.
There's another picture.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It's so cool looking.
And it's
you
not
can
even
pick
an
one up.
estate. It's a shooting brake, which is even
Yeah,
cooler.
I guess so. Yeah, it's 2-door. It's actually the interior is like, if you look at the back seats, it's tiny on the inside. And it's like all of that car, and it's barely bigger than a 2-seater. It is one of the coolest looking cars around. You can pick up a pretty nice one, like one that looks like this, for like 25 grand.
I've seen these. I love the convertible 2-door of this car. I forget what it's called. But I love the front end. I love the
Well, it's the P1800, and then the ES stands for estate.
the P1800. But the P1800, I think you get a convertible, and it looks so good.
It's a cool car.
All right, is this next one for me?
Yep, next one's for you. That's my last one.
What in the world am I supposed to do with that?
I will give you Logan's 3 schmackles if you get this.
Oh, jeez.
This is a pretty iconic portion of this car.
It is.
I tried to do that with mine as well.
Also, I kind of hit the 3 big regions with mine. So I already did America. I already did Europe.
Was this an Isuzu Trooper?
No,
You're in the right.
you're in the right zone though.
Is it a Suzuki?
Nope. It's not 20 questions though.
It's got to be one of those those Japanese SUVs.
I'll give you a big hint. You ready for a big hint? This car is still on sale today. Not this exact model, but the name.
Is it a Pathfinder?
What'd you say?
Nissan Pathfinder?
You are correct. It is a 2-door 1989.
Oh yeah, that offset window.
That thing looks hard, man. That thing looks so mean with the big wheel wells.
I do love the 3 slots in the front of the.
Yeah, I love that. It looks so freaking cool.
They'd do well if they brought back like that boxy.
Oh my god. A 2-door would not sell, but a 4-door configuration of something similar to this.
Especially with that offset window as a throwback.
What I really want to bring back is how, like, this is pretty tame, but how exciting the 90s was with, like, decals on vehicles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
Colors too.
Colors, I know.
It's all gray, white, silver, black.
I'm holding up my dream car to my camera recording right now. I have a little toy RAV4 Cabriolet.
I thought it was
Subaru Brat.
Subaru Brat was your dream car.
I have many dream cars. I have a list on my phone.
Okay.
Is a big Nissan Pathfinder one of them?
This year, Nissan Pathfinder is on the list.
What is this? 93?
It's at 89.
89, okay.
Think of how early, because there was a 4-door configuration of this, think of how early Nissan was to the SUV game in the US.
Yeah, for sure.
Jordan is quizzing Logan. I will stop talking.
Logan, go.
Oh, this is a GT40.
Nope.
Close.
Not a terrible guess.
Ford GT.
Nope.
Shelby Daytona.
Nope.
What is that car that opens like a clam, like the front opens and the back opens?
You are very close on the era. You just wrong continent.
I don't know, a Ferrari 250 something. I don't know.
All right, you can go to the next slide.
What is that?
A Lamborghini Miura.
Oh, it is.
That's cool.
I didn't even recognize it.
I thought that would be a little bit harder if you could see it with a panel open.
Next.
All right, next one.
Where
Where the fender meets the hood is like the most notable part of this car.
Yeah. Is it that Gumpert Apollo?
It is a Gumpert Apollo.
Got it. Thanks, Forza 4.
I know it from Top Gear.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right, next one.
This is a Lotus Elise.
Incorrect.
Oh, it's a Hennessy Venom.
What kind?
GT.
Yep. Because the Venom F1 looks totally different.
Didn't they lengthen the wheelbase by like 2 feet?
Yeah, it's
that.
barely even on lease anymore.
Yeah.
Like even more so than Tesla. Tesla, only 15% of the parts of a Tesla Roadster match with an Elise. Even less of that.
Which it's like, why?
It's super lightweight.
If you're trying to start compact, lightweight,
That's where I would go for lightweight.
cousin cars. I have not looked at these. I managed to put these in without looking at them. So if you
Okay.
wanted to quiz me, you can.
Yeah, your turn then.
All right.
What is that? I won't tell you the model name because it'll give it away.
The cousin has the same name then, I take it?
The cousin has the same model name.
Is it from Hyundai?
It's not.
It looks
Polar opposite.
European.
It is European.
Is it British?
It is British.
Oh, wow.
All of our European viewer, as you put it, Logan, are like screaming at their screen like this is so iconic of like the mid 90s.
Oh, it's a Lotus.
What? It all starts with an E, as they all do.
Lotus Enema.
I don't know.
It was the last vehicle on sale with pop-up headlights.
The Esprit was the last one with pop-up
Oh,
headlights.
it's the Lotus Elan.
Oh.
Talk about lazy rebadging. I bet if you scrape that Kia logo, it still says Lotus underneath. That is some lazy rebadging.
So,
It's exactly-
Lotus made it, and then Kia rebadged it?
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, wow, that's a cool one, because you don't think of Lotus and Kia being anywhere like...
No.
This, what you are looking at, is a Dodge Colt. This 14 feet of pure love. This monstrous 76 rampaging horses.
Is that a Mitsubishi?
It is a Mitsubishi.
I don't remember what the name is.
Think about like something with attitude.
Should I know this?
Yeah, because the later version became a Dodge Attitude.
Oh, a Mirage?
It's a Mirage.
Oh my gosh.
This is not the first. Apparently, the Dodge Attitude was not the first time Dodge sunk so low as to use a Mirage.
I didn't know that.
That is a Mirage. You go to the next one. I found the nicest Mirage.
The plot thickens. Okay.
It's completely clapped out. Like the front hood is clearly like bent down over the front.
Wonder why you don't see those anymore.
Because they're made to such high quality standards that people don't drive them. They keep them, I think.
This one is interesting.
Yes.
Oh, Acura.
This is actually the most rebadged vehicle of all time.
Yes, it is.
This was made under 10 different manufacturers.
Because it's that awesome.
Of the same body
Is
style.
that an Isuzu Trooper?
It is an Isuzu Trooper. This is an Acura SLX. They made almost no changes to it to sell it as an Acura, and they tried to sell it for way more money in the same market as the Isuzu Trooper. And it completely flopped.
Not in Australia. In Australia, it was an Isuzu Bighorn.
No, in Australia, it was a Kikaroo. Jackaroo. It was a Jackaroo.
No, there was different trims. One was a Jackaroo and one was a Bighorn.
But the Bighorn was under a different manufacturer.
I'm going to look it up right now.
All right. Well, in any case, there was 10 different Isuzu Troopers sold across the world because they were pretty awesome. And they sold them for forever. There's one manufacturer that still makes them in this body style.
Yep, Isuzu Bighorn. 4-door Isuzu Trooper.
What's the Jackaroo then?
Jackaroo sounds so Australian.
Totally. Thought you were making that up.
Jackaroo.
Holden Jackaroo.
Holden Jackaroo, yep. And then a Isuzu Bighorn, yep. Okay, cool.
This is a new segment. I'm going to say something that will give this first one away to Jordan, but it's okay because I'm not quizzing him. I'm quizzing Logan.
Do I go to the next slide?
You leave it on Hughes and Clues for right now.
Okay.
I showed a picture of a zoomed-in car, and Jordan said it was too easy. He said, in fact, I could have guessed the car by the color. So I am only giving you guys the color, and you're going to decide on the car. Every time you get it wrong, you get a slightly more higher resolution picture.
Okay,
Make
cool.
sense?
Okay.
All right. So first one, Logan.
All right. Pontiac Aztec.
No.
What the? This is 12 squares.
There's 15 there.
Ford Mustang?
No?
Oh. Nissan Z.
Yep.
Yep.
You got it.
I could tell because there's two very black squares right next to each other on the left.
How did you do the depixelization? Was it like a program?
I put it into Photoshop, and then in PowerPoint, I did a
MS
pixelate transition.
Oh, cool.
Can't wait for the Doug DeMuro podcast to steal this one too.
There's no way that...
I don't think that's saw it.
I mean, we've had tens of views.
This isn't just any color, by the way. I specifically pick the exact color. Now, it's not going to look quite the same because there's no metallic flake. There's no clear coat. So it's hard to put it into like a screen, but this is the exact color.
Also,
Ferrari
that looks
458.
brown to me.
If you look straight on.
This one... Yeah, I would get... Ferrari 458 is pretty good. I'm going to say...
What did he say?
He's a Ferrari 458.
Ferrari 458 Italia? You got it exactly right. You nailed it.
That's right, baby.
Way to go.
That's right.
Holy crap.
Dude, you know
Okay.
how much time I spent in this car in Forza?
Oh my gosh, a lot.
Okay, I would say like twice a year I rewatch the Jeremy Clarkson Forza 4 intro. And it's all about this car.
Okay,
Yeah, good job. All right, you got one more, Logan. This one's going to be a little harder, I think.
Isuzu Bighorn.
No.
No, okay.
All right, go to the next one. It helps to put the screen further away or blur your vision a little bit. It actually makes it a little easier.
Is it from the game Minecraft?
Oh, no, this is British Racing Green. Is this a Jaguar E-Type?
Jordan's close with the color. It's not that green, but it's close to that green.
Is it Aston Martin?
Valkyrie.
Yeah. Is it a Valkyrie?
Nope. Older. All right, next one. It's last chance.
This does not look like an Aston Martin.
Is this a Golf GTI?
What do you think, Logan?
It's definitely a hatchback. Is it I'm gonna say Volkswagen Rabbit.
Jordan got it right. It's a Golf GTI.
Is that year called the Golf though, or is it called the Rabbit?
It's a Golf Mark. That one's a Mark
Mark II.
II. Yeah. For a little while, they called it the Rabbit. I don't remember when, in what markets or what.
Now we're starting with you. Hues and clues. You're going to guess this car by the color alone. And if you get it wrong, you get a slightly more higher resolution picture of the car.
Oh.
BMW Isetta.
Nope.
I'm gonna say BMW M2.
No.
Oh yeah, I get that for sure.
It's not BMW.
It looks like from the second picture, it looks like the front of the car is on the left-hand side.
That's what I'm thinking.
It is.
I'm thinking this car's pretty tall. I think I know what it is. But go ahead, Jordan.
This is a Dodge Charger Daytona.
Nope.
The King Blue.
Is it a Toyota 4Runner?
It is not.
It's a Mustang Boss 302.
No, but you're getting closer.
Is it a Mustang GT?
Oh, it's a Focus ST, Fiesta ST.
Nope.
It's a Ford Focus RS.
Focus Type R. No, R.
Focus RS. It's a
RS.
Focus RS.
There you go.
Type R is Honda.
This next one is another red, but if you look, this is a very different red.
Okay.
What?
It's Jordan first, right?
It's Jordan, yeah.
This is a Miata.
It is a Miata. That's Soul Red Crystal.
That's one of the best colors ever put into a vehicle.
Dude, it's so
Mazda
beautiful.
is such an enthusiast brand. Their cars look so good. They punch so far above their weight class.
Totally agree. The only thing that I would really, really, really like to change about my car is the infotainment system. I've even looked into like hiring somebody to reprogram it or to put in a better processor.
Just tape an iPad to it.
I'm about to.
It will never be worse than like the late 2000s generation Grand Caravan Bluetooth connection. Nothing will be worse than that because you had to connect to it with only the voice controls. There was no way to do it in the screen.
I have a 2018 and they had not changed it. That is still how it is.
It's so bad. It's so bad, dude.
All right, next one, Jordan.
Ooh.
Might look better on your screen.
It's plum crazy purple on a Dodge Challenger.
You got it. That's plum crazy.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it, guys.
No, seriously. I knew it.
All right, well, you weren't kidding. You guys were able to guess the car by the color.
I'm super impressed by that Ferrari answer. Like, way to go. I was like thinking Corvette C8.
It was a toss-up if he'd know that that's Ferrari red.
Yeah,
I did not.
Because it's so flat.
Kenan would be proud.
Who?
If Kenan's out there, he's like the Ferrari guy from Doug's channel.
I thought he was the BMW guy from Doug's channel.
He is the BMW guy, but he's also the Ferrari guy.
All right, Logan, you are
I'm
asking Jordan.
All right, category is American Ugly Ducklings.
Is one the ugliest?
No. Rate it because, well, yeah, okay, fine. You can do it on ugliness. Like one is the most ugly. That's fine. Yeah, one is the most ugly. But also keep in mind which one you would have.
What are you talking about? That's an awesome car.
I don't think that's ugly.
That is a 5.
Ugly.
That is the least ugly. I don't care what comes next.
Ugly.
The back end's a little iffy, but
Dude,
It's
no.
ass. CTSV Wagon. Ugly.
I would have one of those for sure.
Okay, so I know you. Okay.
5.
Next one.
What is this?
AMC Gremlin.
Gremlin. Okay, yeah, the Pacer's different. The Gremlin. Okay, that is traditionally ugly. I might actually have that. I'm gonna call that a 3.
The Gremlin X had like a big block V8 in it, and it is this tiny little car, rear wheel drive, and rad. Anyway, okay, next one.
Ooh, I'm worried that there's gonna be something uglier, but I want to put it at 1. All right,
Okay.
we'll call that 1. We'll call that the ugliest.
That's the ugliest. Would you have one?
If he just like slips a Miata in here, even though it's not American.
No.
I would not. No, I would not have one. If I
every single one of these cars.
I know you.
This next one is the one that I think is the least ugly.
No, it's Dodge. Is that a Dodge Dart?
It's a '62 Dodge Dart.
Yeah, that was after they had that like really Cadillac looking one. Yeah, I think that's like we just tried everything.
I like it.
It almost looks AI generated.
It does. Yeah, it does kind of.
But you wouldn't like once you know what this looks like. There's nothing else that looks like that.
What does Mason think?
He looked like he almost threw up.
You don't like it? I think it looks cool. I think it looks like retro futuristic. It looks like a car you would see in like Fallout.
It totally does.
I absolutely hate that those headlights are different heights. That's awful. That is awful.
Yeah. It looks like Mike Wazowski's car from Monsters, Inc.
Oh my gosh, it totally does. It totally does.
So what do you rate it?
You have 2 and 4.
I'm going to give that 2 on the ugliest.
Okay. All right. And last one, Ford Ranchero.
That's fine. It could be a 4.
So which one would you have? The CTSV wagon?
I'd have the CTSV wagon for sure.
I'd have the Dart, dude. Those things are... I think it's cool. Dude, imagine pulling up to Cars and Coffee in that. People would be like, what the heck is this?
They'd be like, did you build this in your garage? Blind ranking.
And this is wedges. These are all wedge cars.
This is another one styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro.
TVR Tasman.
Yeah. You could tell because it looks exactly like an AMC or a DMC DeLorean, which is also styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro.
It's also a wedge shaped.
And so in the original Golf GTI was a Giorgetto Giugiaro.
You made that guy up. That guy doesn't exist.
He's still alive. He's like 86.
You made up that name. Stop making stuff up.
What do you rank it?
Okay. On like how much I would want it.
Sure.
Looks,
yeah.
I'm going to call that like a 2. That's a good looking car.
It looks a lot like the 300ZX.
It reminds me a lot of the Envision.
Yes. The new one, also styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro, based on the Hyundai's very first concept car, styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro.
He keeps making this name up, Logan. What are you going to do about
It's the
it?
same guy. All right, next one, Countach. I would put that as a 5.
A round belly.
Yeah, nothing about that excites me. I was going to put that as a 5.
Man, that's like the Wedge, like the poster child for Wedge vehicles.
Now this one is the DMC DeLorean.
No, it's not. It's not, though. The Wedge is not the DeLorean. There's 15 cars that come before the DeLorean when we talk wedge-shaped car.
All right, jeez.
He is very upset.
He has some opinions on this. All right?
upset.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to call that a 3.
Okay, so you have 2 and 4 left.
Mm-hmm. BMW is
M1.
M1, yeah.
M1.
We'll call that 4.
BMW's supercars have always been sales.
That is is it a Lamborghini?
Yalpa.
That is a De Tomaso Pantera.
Oh.
Oh, he's Pantera. That's right.
It's always a Pantera.
Idiot. Yeah, I love that guy on Reddit.
It's always a Pantera, yeah.
Yeah, his name is It's a Pantera. And anytime like the car spotting subreddit, people are like, what is this car? And he just puts like an upward caret to his username
It's a Pantera.
every time.
All right, blind ranking. This one's for you, Logan. Rank these 1 to 5 on how much you like these cars. These are
Let's go.
K cars.
Okay. First step.
No, gosh, I wrote it down, but I can't remember it now.
It's okay. It's not important. 5.
5, okay.
Oh, dude, these things are cool.
What's your definition of cool?
No, that's a Toyota Pixis Mega.
This looks like what I want to throw in the bathtub with me. This is a 3.
3, okay.
Ooh,
I was
AutoZen
saying-
AZ1.
Yeah.
Dude, if there's a Toyota Sarah in here, I'm going to kind of regret this, but I'm going to go number 1.
Okay. All right.
K-Truck.
K-Truck.
It's a Mitsubishi Mini Cab. So what do you rank it?
4.
4, okay.
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino 2. That's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
You didn't include the Honda Beat. I'm a little surprised. The ABC,
Yeah.
the AZ1, the Beat, and the Cappuccino.
Mm.
ABCs of K sports cars.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Quiz time. This is Jordan quizzing the two of us. I also renamed trivia to quiz because any video with quiz has gotten substantially more views than the ones that say trivia.
Okay. One U.S. vehicle brand provided so many trucks to the USSR under the World War II Lend-Lease program that the word for truck in Russian became the brand's own name. Meaning that the word that they use in Russia is this brand's name.
Like when someone says Jeep, they could be talking about Jeep or they could be talking about like a small off-roader.
You can go ahead and go to the next slide, just as an idea.
Wow.
This is like one afternoon's shipments of vehicles or something.
So that's a real picture. It's not like an AI
That
picture.
is a real picture.
Wow.
I bet I know what it is.
All right. Well, do you want to guess before we go to the multiple choice?
Yes.
All right. What is it?
Oshkosh.
It's not.
Dang it.
Ford, American Bantam, Buick, or Studebaker. Keeping in mind, all 4 of these built vehicles for World War II.
Bantam? They probably don't say American Bantam.
I say Buick.
Studebaker, a.k.a. Studry, or Victory Truck, as the soldiers called them, were provided by the tens of thousands. Their build quality, 4-wheel drive, modularity, and ease of field maintenance combined to make them a vehicle that the Soviets considered essential to any troop or material movements. One soldier said that the difference between making it to your location and not making it to your location on time is whether or not you had a Studebaker in the caravan. They were used regularly to pull trucks out of the Russian mud, which is like famously bad, but they'd also pull artillery pieces and tanks. After the war, many Studebakers remained in the Soviet Union, and they were used everywhere, including agriculture, and they were credited with providing millions of citizens with much-needed food for decades after the war. Russia only stopped paying off the Lend-Lease program in 2006.
Jeez.
This is like the entirety of the Cold War. The Soviet Union was paying us for the Lend-Lease program.
Even after the Soviet Union collapsed, just imagine that. The whole country collapses. You still owe us money. Damn, sounds like a you problem.
In January of 1945, the men and women of Indiana were sent a gift from the Soviet Union of a photo book detailing the results of their diligent hard work being used on the Eastern Front against the Nazis. The photo album remains to this day at the Studebaker National Museum in South Bend, Indiana.
That's really cool.
And these are some of the pictures I managed to find from that photo book.
So did they stop using these after 1945, or they kept using them?
They kept using them for decades. They were using them until like the 80s.
So they were helpful in World War II, but also Joseph Stalin, the undesirables.
They're probably in the back of some of those Studebakers, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right. Joseph Stalin probably was loading up a bunch of innocent Russian civilians into the back of these.
Kind of puts a damper on things, huh?
Yeah.
Next question. Which of these cars is made up?
All right.
The Holden Suburban, Mercury Fusion, Dodge Michigan, or Chevy Forester?
Chevy Forester. Because it's the only one that seems to cross the boundary. Mercury Fusion could be like Ford. A Ford Fusion sold under a Mercury name.
You say Chevy Forester. I'm going to say Dodge Michigan.
You're both wrong. Mercury Fusion is not a thing. There was a Holden Suburban.
I love how they just sort of clipped over the Chevy badge.
This is incredibly rare. Something like 600.
Really?
Not very many.
I wonder why, mate.
And it's called the Suburban. It just has a Holden badge in the front.
It's literally like slapped on, though.
The Dodge Michigan was sold in Japan.
Look at that Malaise era.
Oh my
That was a Japanese exclusive.
Gotta love that color.
Actually made its way into a couple of Japanese animated shows. I saw a couple pictures of them, but also a few like anime panels that you can clearly see Michigan on like the back of the car and stuff. So
Interesting.
I wonder if that was product placement.
The Chevy Forester was a real thing. I believe it was sold in India.
But was it like a Subaru Forester with a Chevy?
It's a Subaru Forester with a Chevy badge. Which I did not realize they had a partnership.
Me either.
Yeah, it's a Subaru Forester with a Chevy badge.
Cool.
Yeah, Mercury Fusion. No, I just made that up. All right, next one. Name a front-wheel drive vehicle with a V8.
Cadillac Cimarron.
When was that?
That was 92?
It's not on my list.
How many cars have been front-wheel drive with a V8?
I have 12 listed.
I'm guessing like a truck, like a Toyota, like a Tundra or something.
These are all sedans, with the exception of two SUVs. And they're mostly American. And they're mostly GM.
Yeah.
You're close with the Cadillac.
Cadillac Eldorado.
Yep.
That's one of them.
It started life as a front-wheel drive V8.
Did it really?
And it continued being front-wheel drive V8 until like 2002 or whenever it ended production. Some of those are actually relatively new. Pontiac Grand Prix GXP.
Hyundai Equus.
There you go. There's an Eldorado. Look how long that hood is.
Oh, is that the one you happened to grab a picture of too?
And this one had GM's 8.2 liter V8, which if I'm not mistaken is the largest V8 ever put into a car.
Which is insane.
It made 400 horsepower when it came out. By the time they stopped using it, it made 190 horsepower. 190 horsepower out of 8.2 liters. I don't know how that's possible.
Hey there, brother. We got this oil crisis and, gas prices are going up. We're not going to put any Homo 4-cylinder in, but we're just going to make a really slow V8.
Did you hear about the whole thing between Honda and GM at the time? GM was petitioning the U.S. government. We can't pass your emission standards. This is like 73, 74. It's not possible. You're asking too much. GM had put out a Chevrolet ad about like, you don't want to be stuck in some dinky little Honda. Basically like crapping on Honda like this little Japanese import crap car. So Honda went and bought a big GM V8 vehicle, had it designed it after the way that they were building their Hondas, and it passed emissions. And then submitted it as a party to the case. Got all of GM's attempts to circumvent the rules completely shut down.
That's pretty cool. Okay, we talk about how big that new Dodge Charger is for being a two-door. What is the longest?
Is it not that
production two-door? The Eldorado's up there.
Is it not the Eldorado?
It's within 3 inches.
That Eldorado is freaking massive.
You could land a small plane on the hood.
Dude, I have no idea.
What could possibly be longer? It's not like a Lincoln Continental.
It is the Chrysler Imperial.
Oh my gosh.
And it is 235 inches long, which is 10 inches longer than the long wheelbase Escalade.
My gosh.
Yeah.
All that car for zero interior space whatsoever.
Wait, so how many inches?
235, if I'm reading that correctly.
66 inches longer than my Miata.
Yeah. It's longer than the short bed F-150. The four-door, not the single cab, the four-door with the short bed.
Oh my gosh.
And not even that much rear seat room. I don't know how they manage that.
They're like, yeah, peak efficiency.
All right, these are our discussion segments. We're going to start with the news, and Logan's going to kick us off with his news for this week.
So, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Don't go to the next slide. Just stay on the Century slide. All right, so police towing Tesla vehicles for evidence. Have you guys heard about this?
They're towing Teslas?
This has started in, it was published by the San Francisco Chronicle yesterday. It's happening in Oakland, a couple other cities in California, but it seems to be setting a precedent over the last several weeks. So what police departments are doing is they are towing Teslas that are parked near scenes of crimes because they are able to get warrants for the vehicles to get the USB stick that has all the recordings from Sentry Mode.
They can just take your car?
Trying to go to work and their car's gone because the police department towed it.
Because someone else committed a crime.
Because there was a crime near your car. And they think that Sentry Mode could have picked it up.
So they can't just knock on your door and go like...
They're not required to make contact with you or anything. Some police officers have been asked about this. And they say they try, but the need for the vehicle and the evidence is more urgent because they have to pursue all possible avenues. So they go to the judge and they get a warrant and they tow your vehicle.
They can find a judge faster than
they
they
can
can
judge
find...
at 3 a.m. before they can knock on your door right next to the car.
That's how warrants happen all the time. But a lot of times it's just the police seem to be just being lazy because there was one guy, a Canadian guy, was on vacation in San Francisco, staying at a hotel. And he walked out in the morning, to get his, continental breakfast or whatever. And he sees the cops putting the Tesla on the flatbed. He's like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, yeah, we need the USB stick out of it. And he's like, well, you could have just asked me. Like, I'll give it to you, dude. I don't care. And so they're like, oh, okay. And so he was able to get his car, keep the car. But it's like, they could have just asked the front desk for like the license plate of the car and what the room number was. But they just towed it, So yeah. So police are obtaining warrants from judges to seize Teslas that are near scenes of crimes.
That's a dangerous precedent with how many...
You get your car towed because someone else committed a crime. What happened to unreasonable search and seizure?
Well, so some of the questions I have on here, you can go to the next slide now, is what does this mean for other vehicles?
Every vehicle is going to have cameras in the next 5 years.
Well, and also, what about homes that have like Ring cameras and stuff like that?
Anything that my camera picks up is not the police's purview. It's not belong to them.
Well, thankfully, there's not much crime in Oakland, so the probability that's pretty low, right?
That's right. They're seizing vehicles as evidence because they think they might have been able to pick up a crime that happened near them. Now, the reason this has become a precedent is because a young, enterprising police officer was at the scene of a murder in San Francisco. There was like a shootout between 5 people. A woman died. He had the bright idea to basically get the footage from a Tesla that was parked nearby, and they were able to identify the 2 guys that committed the crime and arrest them and charge them. And so it did work.
Well, that's great, but he asked the driver, right?
I'm not sure on that story if they impounded it or if they found the driver.
I've literally been a part of this before.
Like giving your security footage to the police?
Yeah. Because we were pulling up to Uncle Bear's and a restaurant near us, and guy backs his truck up into a neighboring car and then pulls
run.
Yeah, and he pulls off and drives away. And then the person whose vehicle he hit was a police officer. He's a police sergeant. whoever was there, like manager or whatever, comes out and we're like, hey, we have footage of it. We were pulling in. We were going to take the parking spot he was leaving.
So you got his plate.
We got his plate. We got everything.
Dang, sucks to be that guy.
So this is the Envision 75, and at a
74.
74, sorry, from Hyundai. And it's a concept that came out about 2 years ago. There's a lot of stir because it looks amazing.
It does look rad.
It looks really cool. The Hyundai Pony Coupe is what it was called. Hyundai's first concept car was the Pony Coupe, designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro. And you can go back one slide. That's what that car is. Now that looks very tall and kind of AMC Gremlin-y. You can also see the DMC DeLorean in that. You can see a lot of cars. That TVR, Tasman.
The Tasman for sure.
That picture, look at that B-pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not exactly the same car? Modernized. Look at the shape of the front window with the Hofmeister kink at the back of the driver's door. Anyway, so they were talking about turning this into an actual production vehicle by 2030. So they got given themselves a buffer of time because they're putting out like 13 fully electric vehicles, but they're not focusing on battery electric.
What is so funny about this is that what was a concept car saying, hey, this might be what the future of cars looks like.
It's a throwback.
Like, hey, here's this retro throwback.
Honestly, anything that's not jelly bean shaped now, I'm excited about.
Well, they don't even have to be anymore because motors have become so efficient and hybrid technology is so good that, like, they don't really, unless it's an EV, they don't have to be shaped like a jelly bean. They can be fun and exciting. Like, Hyundai's proved that.
Which brings me to my exact point. They are not going to do the hydrogen fuel cell in this. Remember we were talking about this and how if they brought it to market, it couldn't be hydrogen fuel cell, but it's also not going to be battery electric.
It's going to be a hybrid?
It's going to be an EREV, which is what the Ram Charger is, an extended range electric vehicle. So it will have a gas engine that does not touch the drivetrain at all, other than to provide electricity to the battery. It's an onboard charging system. And they are targeting a minimum of 900 kilometers.
It's 550 miles?
560 miles, yeah.
Okay.
And that's a much smaller package than the Ram.
But the Ram's going to go 700 miles.
I mean, anything more than 500 is like...
More than enough.
And it has the benefit of a gas-powered car where you just need to fill it up at a gas station. You can continue on your way.
Station,
yeah.
You get rid of the range anxiety because you can stop at any gas station. And you add total range to the car. And you decrease cost because the batteries can be smaller because you're not storing you're not storing your travel distance in batteries. You're storing it in gasoline.
I don't remember what episode it is, but go back to our Ram Charger episode, and Jordan does like a breakdown of what the benefit is to doing that.
I think it's like episode 4.
This leads right into my hot take, so I can be done.
I saw they were bringing that to production. I was like, wow, Jordan's gonna be happy.
Oh, and the fact that it's an E-Rev, I'm super excited.
Here is my segment.
Oh, God. Did you watch the video?
I watched his video and I watched his follow-up video.
I did not.
Oh, it's so funny, dude.
If you're in the automotive YouTube scene, you've no doubt heard of Whistling Diesel. He has his series of durability tests, everything from Ferraris to everything. Nothing's safe. Nothing is sacred on his channel. So if you are uncomfortable at the sight of new things being scratched and broken, this is not the channel for you. Everyone who watches his channel has been waiting for the Cybertruck durability test. Every single video he posts, when are we getting a Cybertruck test? Someone posted a video, they're driving down the highway, there's a Cybertruck with these test vehicle, Whistling Diesel test vehicle number 1, a Cybertruck with those decals on it, and they're like, wow, I've never seen a car with a worse fate ahead of it. It's like being towed, like it's brand new on its way to a Whistling Diesel. So the gist of it is why there's controversy around this. You'll notice the back of the truck right there, the whole bumper is missing. Because in the previous test, the hitch came off. The hitch snapped off, taking part of the frame with it. And it was trying to pull an F-150 out from another test that the F-150 actually wasn't able to accomplish. Cybertruck drove off these culverts and dropped maybe 3 to 4 feet and hit the hitch. And if you know anything about aluminum and steel, they react very differently. You know, they have different properties, different pros and cons. Generally speaking, depending on the alloy, aluminum is more brittle, where steel will bend and is more malleable. So people pointed out, that this only happened, the frame snapped on the Cybertruck, because it was subject to something that was outside of what would be a normal use case. You wouldn't drop a 6,000-pound truck directly onto its hitch and then expect to tow with it. That's a fair observation. In a follow-up video, Whistling Diesel subjected the F-150 to the exact same circumstances. Now, I should also note, this is not like a scientific channel, this durability test.
No, this is like when Woody and Buzz accidentally end up at Sid's house. That's what happened.
Yes,
to these
that's the kind of
trucks.
durability test we're talking about. I don't think that man's ever been to medical school. So they dropped the F-150 onto its frame from the same height. They basically put it straight up in the air and dropped it directly onto its frame like 5 or 6 times. And when you look at it, the whole F-150 curves up toward the back. It didn't snap though, but it like bent. And they took a big concrete like barrier and dropped it in the bed repeatedly to bend the frame back into shape. And the truck continued to drive. And they yanked things on the tow hitch and stuff, and it still drove. Now,
kind of made me a Ford fan, to be honest.
Great publicity for Ford. But I'm not going to like weigh in on whether or not I think Cybertrucks are just super unsafe. I would still consider the way they use the Cybertruck in that video outside of like normal operation. Yeah, generally aluminum is more brittle, so the fact that it snapped after that doesn't really surprise me. The Cybertruck did, however, hold up better than the Ford in the C4 test. They strapped C4, the explosive, to the outside. The Cybertruck did well. The Ford, which ironically has an aluminum exterior, did not do so well. Basically exploded the entire tailgate, where the Cybertrucks had like kind of a minor dent.
I'm so curious, like, how he gets access to this stuff. Because, like, the C4, when they use it on the Cybertruck, there's no safety mechanism whatsoever. He has, like, a half a pound of C4, like, slaps it on the side of the Cybertruck, hits the primer, and then, like, runs away. Like, on, like, Mythbusters and stuff like that, they would, like, have this whole system and, like...
That was my first thought.
He's also in, like, rural Tennessee or Kentucky, where the laws are very different than Bay Area, California.
How is he trading in?
In a recent video, he actually took a jet from some sort of fighter jet and put it on a merry-go-round. If we're talking about things, how the heck did he get access to that?
The only time I've heard his name before this, because I don't watch any of his stuff, was when he caused a big problem for the gun community on YouTube because he fired a 50 BMG from 4 feet away at a steel plate, and he got hit in the face with a ricochet.
He doesn't take personal safety very seriously.
You can say what you want about the channel, whether or not you think it's, this is good content, bad content, whatever.
I think it's awesome.
It raised some good questions on how safe the Cybertruck actually is. I tend to believe that if you're using it as instructed, I don't see the frame just snapping off, but I don't own one. I'm not an engineer. I don't know. Imagine the wheels up on the top of that culvert. It hit once there on the top and then dropped the remaining all the way onto the hitch on that lower one.
You can watch just the part when he rips it in half, but what he's trying to do when that frame actually breaks is he's trying to tow the F-150. So the F-150 was like stuck on some logs, and he tries to tow the F-150 out, and he gets it, but it like when the cable gets like taut, it just rips the whole back side of the truck off. It just rips the whole thing off.
The chain should snap before the frame of your truck snaps. But still, it was definitely damaged.
If the F-150 pulled the Cybertruck like that, I would have no doubt that the F-150 would be fine.
Yeah. But again, we're talking about the properties of steel versus aluminum.
Also, think about how an electric vehicle accelerates, too. Because I guarantee just slammed his foot down. And so he just like...
That instant torque. Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious content.
It's entertaining. That's a real image, by the way, that jump.
That's crazy.
All right. Marketplace Mayhem. What do we got here?
This thing's awesome. So speaking of Studebaker, this little victory truck. So you see the first picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go to the second picture.
What?
You can change the air filter from inside the car.
I believe it's a Mopar 440.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, how awesome
What?
is that? Yeah, excellent body, stainless floors, trunk with a great deal of history at Niagara, whatever that means.
That means it's rusted. Yeah.
Photos and newspaper articles go with this car. Now has a 440 Mopar engine.
That's cool.
Pretty funny, right? There's a video, so you can see if you go back to the second picture, you can see the ignition right there with the wires. It just sits on the engine. There's the video that he has on the posting. He just like reaches, just picks that up, starts it, and just like throws it.
Shocks himself and drops it.
I want to know the logic behind the pricing. He's like, all right, 4,000. He didn't say something. All right, market value for this 3,500. I know what I have.
Depending on the condition of the engine, that's about what a 440 goes for.
A running 440. That's
All right, hot takes.
all right.
Here's my hot take.
Let's see.
My hot take is new cars are overcomplicated.
That is a frigidly cold take.
That's an ice cold.
I'm good. I'm sweating right now because the air conditioning's off, but I need a sweater for how cold.
Got
my take
chilly
is.
by how cold my take is.
They're becoming ridiculous though.
Yeah, they're insane. Now, on one hand, in a vacuum, some of these things are nice. Like, do you want a car that has vented seats or not? Well, yeah. Do you want a car that monitors your blind spots or not? I mean, yeah, that'd be nice. Do you want a rear view camera, instead of the mirror and there's stuff in the back of your car so you can't see? So you have a camera back there and it shows up on the rear view mirror? Like, yeah, I guess. Each of those things in a vacuum is like, okay, yeah, fine. But modern cars just have so much stuff. Complexity is making vehicles more expensive. It's making them substantially heavier. And a lot of the stuff is regulatory. Backup cameras, the sensors, the automatic braking, like all this stuff is becoming mandatory in these vehicles. I know, seatbelts, like so lame.
For a long time, these comfort items were like so great on luxury vehicles that it was a really big selling point to include them on lower down vehicles. Like heated seats were that way. Only luxury vehicles had heated seats. Now,
cruise control used to be that way.
Yeah, some of these features are really great, and they become a big selling point on cheaper cars. Some of them are just complexity and gimmicks for gimmicks' sake. Like in a Mercedes, you can go into your air conditioning in some of them and pick which scent perfume you want to come out with your air.
Cram all that technology into a car and put it out on the road and expect every one of those thousands of things to work perfectly, indefinitely, and it doesn't work that way. I've been borrowing Mom's 2024 Toyota Sequoia. It's a nice car. Kira is getting way too comfortable in it. Her taste in vehicle is getting more expensive by the day. The Platinum trim starts at $74,000, and it has lots of really cool stuff, right? It beeps incessantly. Whenever I'm merging lanes, someone will come by me, I flip on my blinker before they pass, has a little bit more warning. I'm not going to move the moment I put my blinker on because I'm not a psychopath, but I'm going to put it on a couple seconds ahead of when I go. But I do it before that person coming up
passes.
Right as they're passing me, so they don't see the blinker. But God forbid I put on my blinker while the car sees that car and what it thinks to be my blind spot, and it starts beeping like I don't know what I'm doing. Another thing that's annoying, it detects whether or not people are in the seat and will let you know who's not wearing their seatbelt. It has a little display in there. It shows the seating configuration. Again, it's like, oh, that sounds nice. Except when one of your kids decides while you're driving to change seats spontaneously, wants to move to a different seat. Okay, why not? We stopped at the light. He's like, I want to move to the side, whatever. It needs him to move back into the original seat. Or it will beep at you. And not like a little beep. It is a aggressive beep, 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 beep. Super loud. The beeping won't stop until he moves back to his original seat. And I had to stop and have him buckle that seatbelt with no one in it to get the beeping to stop. There's too much. Even from a brand that is known for reliability, like there's just too much going on.
And it also affects service departments too, because everybody's having some tiny little thing going wrong. And so you want to get one of these tiny things fixed, but everybody else has some other random thing getting fixed.
To be clear, I'm not opposed to complexity, feature-rich vehicles. If that's what you want, fine, whatever. I don't care if other people want to drive them. I just wish there was allowed to be a segment of bare bones. And I'm talking about bare bones in 2024. I'm talking about bare bones for like 1980. Like you were just allowed to drive something that wasn't up to some ridiculous safety standards, didn't have all kinds of crazy technology. Like in order to get something like that, you have to shop for something that's like 40 or 50 years old.
That's what I do.
You're able to drive a motorcycle on the road?
I agree. Take away motorcycles.
Okay. Anyway, and your point is even more well taken, considering that the average purchasing age is 57 of a new car. 57. Our dad's nearly that age. He's a car person. He's a tech person. How much time do you think he wants to spend figuring out every single feature in Mom's car?
Yeah, but the Sequoia isn't a car for car people. The Miata is a car for car people.
All right. You got a hot take, Jordan?
Battery electric vehicles will be extinct in the next 10 years unless one specific thing happens. If production of solid-state batteries gets up to EV levels, this won't be the case. But I think regular battery electric vehicles will be extinct in 10 years.
That's a really aggressive timeline.
What do you mean they'll be extinct? Like no one will be driving Teslas in 10 years? Or no one will be selling new
No one
cars?
will be selling battery electric vehicles in 10 years.
I disagree completely. Tesla will be here in 2034.
I don't think any of them will be battery electric. I think they will all be EREV. I think they will all be range extender electric vehicles. If the solid-state batteries don't come.
I think you're right that most manufacturers, if it pans out well in like the Envision and like the Ram and whatever, a couple other vehicles that are experimenting with this, if that pans out well, sure.
I would say upwards of 90% very quickly will shift to that because they've already got the technology for both. They've got the technology for regular engines that are highly reliable, regular gas engines, and electric motors that they're all sharing with each other right now anyway. Battery packs can be smaller, so that the whole thing weighs less, which means everything gets cheaper. As a vehicle gets heavier, all of your control arms and your suspension, everything gets bigger and more expensive when the car is heavier.
And less efficient.
And less efficient. So you're going to end up with getting the best of both worlds, best of all situations if you go with an EREV.
Hyundai's doing it on this like ultra low production Halo car, and Ram is doing it on one truck. Like, there's probably a reason these other manufacturers haven't pursued this yet.
What's the difference between what Ram and Hyundai are doing and the the Chevy Volt?
The Chevy Volt's engine drives
the wheels directly. Whereas these newer vehicles, it's
engine.
only electric motors and the
It's a
engine
generator.
is just a generator.
It's just a generator.
And is that a new concept?
No, the Fisker Karma did that.
Didn't Jeremy Clarkson do it first?
Yes, in the iEagle e-thrust.
Yeah.
But then they renamed it the Excellent.
So you think the benefits in this new Ram and this Hyundai and whoever else decides to do this are just going to be so obvious, so evident. There's no downsides to it. It's cheaper, better.
But it's not just that it's better for the consumer, because it is. It's better for the manufacturer too.
So you're saying in 4 years they'll come out with a Hellcat Charger that
A Hellcat, but it's electric. Yeah, it's a Hellcat engine with a screaming supercharger.
Well, here's the downside, something they had to work around with the Ram. And I think they're doing something clever with like the noise cancellation, because the engine doesn't rev up like it does when you're driving a car normally. It does whatever is needed by the batteries in the electric system. So if it needs to go higher, it'll go higher, but it's a drone. It's not I'm pushing on the floor and my engine revs up instantly. It may not change at all. It just depends on what the battery level's at, what you're trying to do with it, if you're towing with it or whatever. It's going to change whatever level it's revving at to give the battery the most efficient supply of energy for what it's at. Like if it's full, it's going to be basically off. You're not ever going to hear that supercharger line.
No, it's a joke at best.
I know.
What might be more efficient is an 8.2 liter V8.
I will say that the efficiency drops. Like if you talk about the actual power output of an engine, that 285 horsepower you get out of the Pentastar in the Ram Rev, the equivalent kilowatts it's putting into electricity is actually only getting about 200 horsepower or a little less. If you're talking about what the power loss between the generated by the engine and the electricity you get out of
But
it.
then the batteries and the electric motors give you like
98% efficiency on that power, yeah. Whereas on the horsepower you're getting out of the engine, you're getting 40-50% efficiency. Thermally efficient on actual gasoline is like 20%.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. Anyway, by changing to an electric drive system instead of a mechanical drive system, they're going to save in every category. And it's going to be better for consumers. It's going to be better for manufacturers.
I wonder if there will be a clever way to use the heat from the engine to warm the battery in the winter.
Similar to like heaters, heavy heater corders for the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you're not using the battery to heat itself. You would use.
And then you can have a tiny battery. You can have like a 10 or 15 kilowatt hour battery.
Well, Tesla, not just Teslas, electric vehicles lose a ton of range when it's cold because so much of their power is going toward keeping the batteries in optimal operating temperature.
Yeah.
So if you just have a heater core that pumps coolant fluid through the battery packs.
And if you plan on living in a cold climate for a long time, like you've always lived there, you're going to live there forever, you're not going to go buy an electric vehicle whose battery is going to be dead in 7 years, like completely dead because of the cold. Well, what happens if the battery you're buying isn't like the new Ram is 276 kilowatt hours, or maybe you buy one that has a 20 kilowatt hour battery? That's a lot easier to replace, a lot cheaper. It's not a $55,000 battery. It's like a $5,000 battery.
When that battery's done, the car's done.
Yeah. Because you're going to end up spending more than you would have spent on another one.
It's already fairly complicated trying to do a damage to the environment between an electric vehicle and a gas-powered vehicle.
Yeah.
This is only going to muddy the waters more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I have to imagine, in a similar fashion, it's kind of the best of both because you're not mining nearly as much lithium and rare earth minerals to make batteries.
And the effective gas mileage of that Ram Rev is about 30 miles per gallon.
Yeah. So
With the same Pentastar V6, burning the same amount of fuel, you're going 30 miles per gallon?
would you still be able to plug it in and charge it?
Yep, it's plug-in. So you can plug it in, fill up your electricity all the time. So around town it goes 160 miles or
But
something.
when it gets below 10%, the engine will kick on if it needs to.
No, even better. If it gets below 45%. Because if you keep it between 40 and 60 all the time, the degradation of the battery is essentially negligible.
But I'm sure you could force it to run on only electric if you
Yeah, if you like if you need,
Don't have
I'm
gas.
sure there's settings or you run out of gas or whatever, sure. But you can keep your battery in an absolutely optimal range all the time. Because who's going to buy an electric car and only drive it for the 20% between 60 and 40? Absolutely nobody. But you can the truck can extend the battery's health on its own just with the way how often it runs the engine. So then this battery that would have lasted 200,000 miles is now going to last potentially 600,000 miles because it's having effectively no wear.
I kind of feel sad saying this, but that Ram Rev is the most exciting thing Chrysler is doing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm including the Charger.
Yeah.
Which people are seeing now. Some guy snapped a picture of one at Costco.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Kept it to a tight 90 minutes.
Yep. Tight 3 hours.
Tight 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the next one.
See you.